Adam here with Brooksaw Antiques. Today we have this 1972 Olympia SM9 vintage portable typewriter. I'm going to show you how to use the functions and make sure they all work. Made in Western Germany and considered one of the best typewriters of all time, also known as the Mercedes-Benz of typewriters. Up top is the adjustable paper guide. This helps you guide the page in straight. I'm going to line that up with the edge of the platen, which is the main roller that feeds the paper, and this is the left margin. I'm going to set that on 0 and the right one around 85. And this is the paper support arm that flips up from the back. And this is the paper bale that sits on top. It's got 2 adjustable rollers and a scale. Once you hear the bell, you're at the end of the margin. Hit this line space, get you back to the beginning, and skips 1, 1.5, or 2 spaces. Right now we have it on single, but if you want 1.5, just flip that switch down 1 notch. It skips 1.5. One more, it skips 2. We're going to keep that on single for now and finish typing. And as you can see, all the keys type nice and none of them skip or stick. I'll type a sentence in red on the next line and switch from black to red. There's a switch on the right side here. Flip that down to the orange indicator. It prints the bottom portion of the ribbon. When you have it in the middle, it doesn't print any ink at all. It just leaves a stencil for copying purposes. When you have it up top, it prints the top portion of the ribbon, which is black. We're going to move that down for red. Beautiful typing machine, absolutely flawless. The print looks perfect. It's got Elite number 87 font, which prints 11 characters per inch, which is pretty unique for typewriters, but not for Olympias. Very common for an Olympia to have 11 characters per inch, which could be the sweet spot right in between Pica and Elite. To pull the page out easy, there's a switch on the right side here. You flip it forward and it unlocks the rollers underneath the platen, allowing you to pull the page out easier, load thicker paper like carbon copy or cardstock. Make sure you flip that back before you load the next page, or else it won't load correctly. Going to flip this down for now and put the color back on black. Shift on each side and shift lock on the left. To clear that, just hit the shift button again. Above that is the margin release. When you get to the end of the margin, there's a mechanism that blocks you from printing. Hit that margin release button. It does allow you to go all the way to the end. And on this model, it's just 4 dots. This is your tab set. Right now, we have tab set on 10 space intervals. So I'm just going to clear them all by flipping this switch here. This is an all tab clear, and one of the differences between the SM8 and the SM9 is you can set the tabs on the keyboard on the SM9, and on the SM8 you set the tabs on the back manually. And some of the earlier versions of the SM9 have the tab sets right next to the space bar, but on this model they're right here on the left. So on the earlier version of the SM9 you would have the tabs here, and then you would have the touch control here. But with this version you have the tab here and the touch control inside. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set a tab, make sure there's no tab set. I'm going to set a tab by flipping it up to the plus sign, and it's just going to stop at that spot. And I always like to keep one set somewhere in the middle so it doesn't slam all the way to the end, causing wear and tear in your typewriter, even though this does have a good tab break. To clear it, that specific tab, you just flip it down to the minus, and it just clears that one tab. I'm going to set one right there. So up to set, down to clear. On the tops of the keyboard here on the top left is the carriage lock. So you flip it up and you move the carriage to the middle. It will lock right there in the middle, so when you have it in the case it doesn't bang around causing any kind of damage. Flip it down to unlock it. Backspace on the right side, very smooth. And open the hood like a car hood. All the brand new ribbons loaded on the left, so it's pulling clockwise to the right. If you want to switch a direction behind either spool, you just flip the side that you want it to go to. Right now I want it to go counterclockwise to left. Well, I flip that slide, this little thing. So now I want to go to the right. And what that does is when you get to the end of the ribbon, if you have eyelets at the end of your ribbon, it will catch on that and then reverse the direction. And that will happen indefinitely until the ribbon goes dry. This is your touch control. So right now it's all the way up to the least amount of tension. You flip it all the way down. There's a plus sign there. It increases the tension when you hit the keys. You do have to hit the keys harder for them to print, but they respond faster. So you just want to play with that to gauge what your preference is as far as touch control goes. On the right side of the carriage, you got a carriage release on both sides. On the SM8, you only have one on the right side. On the SM9, you got one on each side. This is the switchblade paper support arm that flips up and extends. Really cool. Here's the carriage release on this side. Smooth as it gets almost. This is probably number 2 of all time as far as typewriters go. The number 1 would be the Hermes 3000 in my book. And this has the wide carriage, much wider than your typical Olympia, which is pretty rare. This is a little over 13 inches of type space on the platen. And if you push the line space selector all the way back, it disables the spacing when you turn the knob so you can get to an exact spot on the page. You push it forward, you get the clicks. Each one of those clicks is a half a space, and the same concept if you pull the knob out and turn it like that. And you want to be careful with that because you'll lose your space forever if you do that. And that's it. Now available on eBay or Etsy. Search Brooksaw Antiques.